looked at are we originally were looking at the gazebo concert series, and we went down to 4 concerts, and now we're back up to 8 concerts because we're in phase 4 of the Safe Start plan. So we are allowed to have gatherings now. And then there's the Friday night block party, which is James's version of shutting down the first 4 blocks, doing a typical special event footprint. And then there's Thursday night, which was originally Construction Blues, just offering an open mic night on Thursdays now through October. Honestly, I want a business to take. I want 20 Front Street to take on that one, or somebody like them to take on the open mic night. And then we've got placemaking for safe distancing. There's the outdoor speakers, and then the barricade fencing and a bunch of picnic tables. And then the last little bit is pedestrian safety. And Anthony, I think that I did this after the meeting. I was kind of looking up some costs. So the embedded crosswalk lights, Joe says, no, we're not doing that. We can't do that. So
yeah.
I think what he meant was, the fire departments, what they wanted was lights that when their garage door opens, the lights at the crosswalk would flash and they'd say stop. And what Joe was telling me is it's like $25,000 for that.
Wow.
Which, yeah. And he said, we are not doing it. We're not doing it. This one, the crosswalk light was more the type that has the caution, people are walking symbols, and you push the button and it flashes. It's kind of like what's at Atwater.
Okay.
Bike path. It's a less elaborate version of that.
Okay.
And I was trying to explain that to him, and he says, Molly, if you do anything there, they're going to want what they want. So just let it lie for a second. I don't know. And then, do you know they actually have, how we were looking at that parking system, and they had the little bollards and they had the lights in them? You can actually buy those. Without the parking system, you can buy them.
I've seen them.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you remember like in the 80s, they used to buy them. They were like an aluminum post and they had a light in the top, and people used to use them to through their landscaping, or they would use them on their walkway. They were really popular 20 years ago, and then you haven't seen them. And then I saw them with the system. That's what it reminded me of. So I know they sell those, the post style lighting, and usually I believe the way those work is the top screws off, so you can change the bulb in them. They're LED, but the top comes off to change them. So, but those are low. The ones I've seen are low voltage, so they don't take a whole lot of wiring.
Yeah, I think that what I found was solar even. So in Meeks Park, where it's in the shade the whole time, I don't know if that's great. I don't know if they'll work, but
you can do there's ones I've seen where they work off of, because they're low voltage. They work off a panel solar system. So it's a fixed post with a higher solar panel, and then that charges the lights. You may look at that option. There's all kinds of those solar kits out there, so you can get the solar up a little bit higher. So then it's just a simple pole. So. Okay.
All right. The railing, Children's Park railing, the light is embedded in the railing, that kind of thing. Right. We were talking about that. They wouldn't give me a quote. There was, the rest of these I could literally just find a catalog and get a price. Right. That railing stuff I could not. So I really don't know what that would cost, but we didn't need very much of it.
Right.
And then as I'm looking at this, I think the Children's Park solar lighting, those were the buttons that you press into the ground. And the solar, and I actually think those might be better than the railing would be nice. but those
Easier.
buttons, yeah, we put them wherever we need them. We just put them down where
Right.
it seems it's necessary. So those were the kind of things I was looking at, except, and you know what, this was, it was $150 for 20 of them. So why not even just try them? Just try them and see if they work out. And if they don't work out, then we've only lost $150.
$150 too if somebody steals them. Not a
Right.
big loss.
Yeah.
So okay.
Anyway,
Yeah,
so-
usually the biggest issue with the solar stuff is if you look at the wattage of the bulb, it's low. You know, because they're trying to give as much time as you can. So a lot of times it's like when you buy solar, you know how if you buy like a 60-watt equivalent, it's like a 7-watt or something like that. Usually like the solar lights are like 1.5 or 1.8 or something real low. So you're gonna want to put them closer together. You probably want to put them on each side of the walkway, because if you don't, you're just not going to get much out of them. So that's what I would say about that.
Okay. So if they work, we might actually spend $300 instead of $150.
That's exactly. That's what I'm saying. You might buy some more just because you might look them out. They might look really good. And you're like, we just need a little more light. So that's the only thing with those. So, and more than likely they're probably going to last 3-4 hours after it's dark, and that's really all we need. Not like we're worried about someone there at 2:00 in the morning.
No. All right. So, so this is kind of the totals that I came up with, like.
Right.
Okay. So it's a total of $58,760 if everything is included in here. Yeah. But here's the thing. Okay. Look at these 3 events, and I sent an email. I don't know if you had a chance to read it, but I mean, this is a lot of events. Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday night for us to do. That's crazy.
No, I know. So this is not bad, and I think at the end of the day, if you spend $58,000, but you go to the public and you're like, for $58,000, this is all the stuff we did. It looks good.
Well, that's true. Yeah, that's
because
true.
Because they always say, well, what did you guys do? Well, okay, here's what we did with the money.
Yeah.
So.
Well, okay. So the block party. All right. I have reservations about the block party, because M24 is shut down and everybody is detouring through downtown. Do we really want to shut down?
Right, which is a good thing.
Yes, it is. Yeah. So I don't want to shut everything down and make it not possible for them to drive through. So.
Agree.
So on Monday, when there are going to be 3 different resolutions that I hope are passed by Village Council, allowing for our barricade fencing, allowing for them to move out onto the sidewalk and out farther. I'm hoping that gets passed, and if that gets passed, let's not shut down the streets. Let's see if we can do it without shutting down the streets.
Right.
Like still do the speakers, still do the link from the music in the park up into the downtown area, but not shutting down.
Well, and the thing about it is if we only shut down the parking, we don't have that 100-person limit. But if we shut down the streets, we can still only have 100 people there. So what good does that really do us right now?
Well, and if we don't shut down the streets, then each entity is allowed to have 100.
Right.
That'd be better, right?
Exactly.
I agree. Much better. So
Jason is looking at. We talked to him today. He's looking at taking the grass out in front there and taking that whole area and making that outdoor seating and doing either stamped concrete, or I'm trying to get him to do pavers, but doing that up there. So we're working some numbers with him right now, trying to figure out a way to make it work for both of us to keep his costs down as low as possible and get that done. So he's going to be able to seat with social distancing. I think he can get like 8 tables out there, which is pretty awesome. So it's bigger than you think. I mean, I didn't until I actually measured it. It's 12 feet by 22, and then it's like 12 feet by 16.
Oh,
so
wow.
Those 2 areas. So he's like, he doesn't care about extending out because he's going to do that. And I already told him.
He's got a lot of space, yeah.
Yes. Valentino's, I don't know what they want to do. Got to talk to them yet, but might not start until after the park, which is even better. It's less rails that we need.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Right.
So,
well, and okay, so American Legion was already asking about the picnic tables.
Yeah, that's great.
yeah, they're like, hey, can we have a couple picnic tables? That would be really cool if we could have those. So, I mean, I have 16 down on here. I almost want to bring it up to 20.
Yeah, probably. I know we gotta get approval, but
Mhm.
I think that's okay. Yeah, I
Okay.
think that's smart. Can I ask you
Yeah.
a question too? I got you because Jason asked me this today, and I know you would know. I understand that the law has been temporarily adjusted to allow those restaurants to have alcohol outside. Is that correct?
Right. It's a temporary license through
Do they need
October
defense?
31.
Do they need a fence for that? Do they have to block for that?
Yeah, it has to be enclosed. It's an extension of their outdoor liquor license, and it has to be enclosed. If there's two separate things going on though, because the second one is the social district, which is it's going through the legislative process.
Okay.
But that one is the municipality gets to say, this is our open carry district. So theoretically, the village could make all of the downtown the social district, and you can have an open, can of beer as you walk through town, but you can't take it out of town. You have to, stop.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, and that's, I believe we sent out, we were asking for people to write letters of support to, I think it's Representative Weber. Anyway, it's the Rochester representative. He's the one who's presenting
Pushing
it.
it. Oh,
Yeah,
great.
sponsoring the bill. So yeah.
Okay. Jason was asking me, and I said I would talk to you about, because he was looking. That was the thing he was looking at was do I have to fence this, and if I do, what does that cost, and what does that look like, and if it's something that he could avoid doing till next year, and if he just had to like get the tables out there and concrete that area, that would be better than okay, now I've got to spend money on fencing too. So that's why I'm asking.
Yeah. Well, we sent out a newsletter with a lot of information about that particular thing. So I'll look at it and I'll forward it to him as well, so he can
Great.
figure that out. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. I'm sorry. I just wanted to ask why before it was fresh in my while it was fresh on my mind. So.
Okay. All right.
Hey, Molly, this is Lisa.
Hi, Lisa.
Hey,
Hi.
Lisa.
Hey, I was just wondering, what do we think that block party looks like? Like, what is that going to be?
Well, I'm trying to modify it. I'm trying to modify it so that there is music. All right. So when we talked to the speaker guy, he was kind of thinking that trying to pipe music from Greens Park over to the downtown might be difficult.
Yeah.
So at that point, I kind of I thought, well, okay, then we need to do Gazebo Park until we figure out how to do Greens Park decently. I mean, let's not worry about it. I really love having the concert aimed at the people in the boats. I really love that idea, and I don't want to give it up, but I think maybe it's not for this year.
Yeah.
Anyway,
okay.
So in that case,
I have a Friday night. My Friday night thing is going to work. So.
Yeah. I hope the kayaker, the rental guy in Greens Park opens so that we can rent a kayak and come watch your movie. I think that's going to be really fun.
You can come to the house. It's fine. It's going to be against the deck, so you sit 30 foot back at the edge of the water. You'll be all set. So.
All right. Well, okay, that sounds good.
Can I ask another question with the block party? Where are you looking at placing that then?
All right. So so then the music would go back to being in the gazebo because we know that works.
Yep.
We've got all the electrical there. So we want the music there, and it would be the same format as the gazebo from 6 to 7:30. And then I'm trying not to shut down the streets. So it would just remain open. But when we get our speakers, all of the music would be broadcast live throughout town, from 6 to 7:30, right? And then, so that's what I'm hoping for is for the village to approve the resolutions allowing for outdoor use of space.
Yep.
And if they do that, then everybody can move themselves outside a little bit further into the downtown area. You know, if they can add more social distancing, tables and chairs out there, and we can, you know, if we can figure out a way to get the music kind of near them, near everybody who's kind of outside, then we've accomplished our mission, right? We can have 100 people in the park. We can have 100 people at 20 Front Street. We can have 100 people. I mean, if, you know, if we want, we can have 100 people at each restaurant. We can have 100 people anywhere. And then we don't have to close down the streets.
Yep.
And that is possible because we got ourselves to phase 4, because the governor, you know, allowed us to be in phase 4. So last week, when we were not in phase 4, we were going to need to open the streets because we had to have more space in between everybody.
Yeah. So we aren't also looking at closing parking lots to do the block party then?
No, no closing parking lots. Bad idea, right? That's what we're hearing. We're hearing that's a bad idea. Even now, it's a bad idea.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks.
So, Lisa, may I speak frankly and with love and respect?
Yep.
Thank you. I called Tim and asked him about asking, you know, the musicians if they'd be willing to play on Friday night. And he flat out said he wouldn't call them. So is that a directive from Alan?
No, I don't think so. I know that, are we looking at, because on your list, you've got it on Wednesday.
The Gazebo concert series is on Wednesday, and we're going to have 8 concerts starting the Wednesday after July 4th, whatever that date is, through the end of August. The Friday night block parties.
And the last time we talked, that sounded like that was moving to Friday night, that Gazebo concert series, when we had our last meeting.
Right. Well, it looks.
That's what I walked away with from that meeting.
Yeah. I mean, that was one of the things I was considering. That was one of the things I was considering, but.
So I talked with both Tim. Well, I updated Tim and Alan that was a possibility that the Gazebo series, it looked like, was moving to Fridays. And they felt that we had events on Friday nights and that they weren't going to probably do it on Friday evenings. On Wednesdays, you know, I think Tim might still be interested in doing that. But I can't speak for him or Alan.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I think the Wednesdays are better.
Hi, Chris.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. You must be back in your office. It looks familiar. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So Lisa, it sounds like what you're saying is that if we have something like a First Fridays kind of music in the park on Fridays, even though they end before your concerts start, 20 Front Street will not want to be involved?
I don't know. I'll be happy to ask that question to them and try and get feedback from them. I can email them now on that if you want, or call them and let you know this evening.
Okay. I got to take a call. I'll be right back. I'm sorry.
It's so dead quiet in here now.
Yeah.
Oh man, well, that was quick.
Sorry. Thank you. All right. So Lisa, I just, you know, I want 20 Front Street to know that the DDA cares about the future of 20 Front Street, and we always want to be involved when that works for you guys. We want to we also, I mean, we've got an entire downtown that we need to take care of that's been devastated. I mean, everybody's been flat out devastated, right? So,
Oh, absolutely.
yeah, and we might need to do some things that we wouldn't normally do, like have music on Fridays. And so I wanted to find out from you if we could, if we should be talking to 20 Front Street about all of the music, or if we should not worry about the other nights, or, you know, I just don't know how much involvement you guys want, and whether you would be a partner regardless, or that's kind of what I think.
Okay. I feel like I need to ask that question to Alan and Kevin and Tim. Can I call them and then call you back after the meeting? Or I don't know if I'll be able to get them.
Whatever you need to do. And you know, they can talk to me too. I've got you.
That'd be great.
Here, so I thought I'd ask. So, okay.
Okay.
Would you rather I talk to Alan then, or
Yeah.
do you want to talk to him?
I'll be happy to talk to him if you want.
Okay. Okay. All right. So moving on, we've got.
Can I just get one clarification, Molly?
Yes.
Are you looking then at 20 Front Street asking if they want to be involved on the Wednesday gazebo series, and then also on the Friday evening if needed?
Well, okay. Frankly, all of it. We've got
All of
Thursday
it?
night open mic. We've got the Friday night, which might end up being like a first Friday kind of thing, rather than, you know, 4 Fridays in a row. And then
Okay.
the weekly concerts, July and August.
And the open mic nights, they're on Thursday. Would they also be 6 to 7:30 then, you're thinking? Or?
I mean, that's kind of up in the air. That's that was to coincide with the construction blues nights, where the all the stores were supposed to stay open until 8. I don't get the sense that that's actually going to be happening, but
Okay.
You know, providing the opportunity for an open mic to happen would be great. And I know you guys have got you usually do concerts Thursday night, so
Right.
I mean, I just, you know, you are our premier music business, and we want to come to you guys first and let us, you know,
Okay.
you tell us what you're willing to do. And, you know, I kind of honestly want the blessing from you guys to allow us to do other things. If the things that you don't want to be involved in, allow us to still do them.
Oh, yeah.
Just because we're all neighbors and we're all in this together. And I don't want there to be any hard feelings between 20 Front Street and any other business in the downtown area, you know, and I don't want anybody to feel like we're working against them. Okay. You know what I'm saying?
No, totally. I understand that. And part of the hard part for us is that we still don't know when the governor's going to allow concerts to take place in a venue like ours.
Mhm.
And it doesn't look like it's going to be in the next week, and it doesn't look like it may be by the end of the month. So almost all of our events have been canceled through June at this point. The only thing that we've done is the fundraiser, which was essentially a bunch of concert videos that we put together to do our fundraiser. And then we did a live stream with Brian White on Saturday night. But other than that, right now, nothing is planned in June at all. I will be more than happy to bring all 3 of those ideas to 20 Front Street to see, like with Alan, what capacity they feel like they're able and willing to do the scheduling for, and then get back with you. And I can probably have that conversation this afternoon. I can try and do it during the meeting if that's possible, if I can get a hold of somebody.
Okay. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you. All right. So I see that James and Chris have just arrived. Well, not just, but hello, guys. Thank you for coming. All right. Do you have, I don't know when everybody showed up. So what I have here are the priorities and approximately what we think they might cost. So, priority number one, the events with safe distancing, we're looking at around $13,050. And this is just for the operation. This is not for any extra marketing, anything. This is just to get the music out on the streets. And then priority number two, placemaking, allowing for safe distancing. We're looking at the outdoor speakers, and they are a wireless system. I talked to Jeff Schmidt this afternoon, and he did say that we could put an antenna at the top of his building, which simplifies things. Yeah, that's really good. And so I have the main blocks of downtown, the intersection blocks, and then also on the other side of 120, going down towards American Legion and Valentino's and Oat Soda, that end of the downtown, because the building's in the middle, that works. And then there's the barricade fencing, and then a whole bunch of picnic tables. When we thought we needed to have more safe distance between everybody, we were talking about renting tables. So why not buy the tables and allow them to be used by the businesses, to be in the parks, and just to be where they need to be, and we can use them for events. And these are all, I mean, assuming we can get these, they're all foldable, and they can be stored in the office's backyard. And then the third priority is pedestrian safety and lighting. This was slightly harder to get the quotes on, but we've got embedded crosswalk lights, and then the lamppost retrofit. There's no quote that not that I could get on the internet. The safety sticks, railing additions. I couldn't really get a quote on that one, so I guessed. And then the solar lighting, kind of in the ground buttons. Does anyone have any questions about the things that are on the list? Yes, Anthony.
Let me see, make sure I'm on here. Just real quick on Jeff Schmidt's. Did you ask him about having a place inside for the laptop?
Yeah, he said that was fine. We didn't talk details.
Okay, I just want to make sure. Yeah, because that was part of it that we needed to make sure. So okay.
Yeah, he said that would be okay. That he could find a space. I didn't get details from him though. Any other questions? Okay.
Sorry, I was muted. Was this talked about in the meeting last week, all this stuff?
The priorities meeting, some things were specific, some projects were specifically talked about, Chris. There were 18 people who attended the meeting. The outdoor speakers were spoken about. The pedestrian safety and lighting, that was a priority that the DDA board decided to keep. They just capped from January.
I just don't understand Molly, I don't understand. So I see ONTV tiers, so we're being broadcast, which is good. I think we should always be, nothing to hide, but I don't understand, what are we doing today? and I'm trying to understand why it's just out of the normal cadence. So, I think all these things sound awesome or great ideas, but I learned about this meeting, I think yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't have a quorum, right? But
right.
Broadcast. And are we asking to make these decisions? Are you looking? I'm really confused.
Okay, so this is simply a budget workshop. I needed to have on TV on here so that if I ended up with lots of board members, I would be complying with the Open Meetings Act. This was originally a meeting amongst all of the committees, and there's a board member who's in each committee. So there was a possibility of having more board members here, but I just wanted to show you these numbers, and then I was gonna move into the budget and show you guys how, and then the purpose of this meeting is to make a recommendation, like fiddle with the details and make a recommendation to the board for them to approve something.
Okay, so the committee, they're making a recommendation?
This meeting, the people at this meeting make the recommendation to the board. To
The
approve,
board or to the village council?
to the DDA board.
Okay, so
And
this
then
is,
the
this is
DDA
the meeting, this is a meeting for the committees, is that what you're saying?
It's the meeting where we are discussing the details, the ins and outs of the budget. Yes, it's, and
For the
because
DDA
at the
board
DDA
now?
board,
It's the meeting for the DDA board or the meeting for the committees to
it's
be?
it's for committees, it's for the committees. This is a work session. And once we get to the board, you know, the recommendation is either accepted or not accepted. It's not really detail work by the time we get to the board.
So this will come to the next regular, technically, or these recommendations will come to the next regular DDA meeting for us to act on. Yes, okay. That's what I didn't understand. I was concerned that there's only three DDA board members, or two actually, right? Just
There's only two of you, yeah.
I was concerned that if we're talking about like projects and stuff, like there's not enough of us, and I just learned about them. Obviously, I missed the first 30 minutes because I had another meeting that went till 4. So, all right. So I understand now. So this is a meeting for the committee members to listen to your recommendations and kind of give input, and then this will be on the next regular DDA meeting. Because typically when I hear the budget workshop, like when I do budget workshops, I'm not saying you have to do it my way. I was confused. The budget workshops are for the board members. We talk about it and then eventually we present something. So, okay, fair enough. I'll be quiet again. I just was confused and wondering why there weren't more of us. Thank you.
And it's all right, Chris. You know, the Main Street stuff is an extra layer that isn't normally in a municipal government activity. So I can understand why it wasn't making sense.
And I think, yeah, some of this stuff too was discussed by some of the other committees, and so I think it got added to this budget. So it actually has been talked about by design committee, I think brand marketing, and which has some other board members and other people on it too. So I think Molly put it in here so we could kind of get this nailed down and see if we can get it approved. So.
Okay, I just want to, okay, thank you. That makes sense.
Yep, no problem.
Okay. All right. All right. So now I need to move on to the budget, and I did some preliminary work last night. Because trying to tear apart numbers and putting them back together when you're not used to looking at the budget is kind of no fun. So I thought I would do give us a place to start, and it can be tweaked from there. Bear with me. So Chris, did you get my phone call? Did you get my phone message about the real kits?
Yeah, I'm having a real issue with my cell phone right now. Be getting resolved today. I don't know what AT&T is doing, but I talked to Annika from the county. They're delivering 200 reopen kits here tomorrow. We're going to promote it then too, but what was your message? I didn't hear it, so no, I'm sorry.
Okay, sorry. My question was, our kits that were delivered to us, we've got, like 100 of them left, maybe. And they're in Dia's garage in his brand new building. I was wondering if we could send them over to, I don't know where they're going to be, Orion Center or your township
We're
office.
sending them to the Orion Center so that the chamber can help us distribute them.
So I wanted to know if you wanted my extras that didn't get picked up today.
Sure. Yeah,
Because I think Annika can arrange to have the courier guy send come and get those pallets and take them over. There's huge pallets, and I don't want to continue to take up Dia's space if I can get them moved. Okay.
Yeah, that's
All
fine.
right. Okay. Thank you. Hi, James.
I guess, maybe we should coordinate with Annika then, Molly, because we can get more.
Mhm.
I mean, if I ordered 200 and you have 100 that haven't been picked up yet, maybe I don't know that I want 300. I don't know if I'm gonna get rid of them all. So,
Okay.
what do you think?
Well, yeah, the people who did not pick up kits in the downtown area, I was going to send them down to the Orion Center when they finally caught up and realized that they wanted those kits and
That's
didn't
fine.
have them.
That's fine.
Hey,
That's fine.
Molly, if
Yes?
any of the village businesses still might want a second one, is it possible to get a second one?
We'll have to ask Annika. I'm not sure. I think
Okay.
that they're initially trying to make sure that every single small business has a kit. And then
Yeah.
after that, they can discuss, yeah, that's their original intention, so.
Yeah, they won't do that on the first go around, Lisa, for a little bit, Lisa, because they want to, like Molly said, they want to try to get them to most businesses, so.
Mhm.
But potentially they'll open it up to second
Yeah.
round, so.
Yeah,
You need any of the businesses that didn't pick up to be called or have follow-up?
we've been calling them.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you for the offer.
Yeah, I'd do that if you needed it.
Okay, wonderful. All right,
You're
so
the
just
best, Lisa.
what?
I said, you're the best, Lisa.
Yeah.
Still the
she is.
best.
Yes. Oh, yeah, she used to be an
I know,
Orion
I miss
Township
you,
employee, huh?
Lisa.
All right, so just as a recap, everyone, we were projected originally to be a little bit higher than 630,000. But then COVID-19 happened. So the decision was made to take it down to 600,000. This is our tax incremented financing. That's what this, see if I can. So that's what this number is here. I didn't change it. This is the revised proposal consideration. We had one budget that, Lisa, were you trying to talk?
I'm sorry?
Oh, okay. All right. So we've had one budget that had the higher number, and it was a normal, normal pre-COVID budget. And then COVID happened, and we cut out, I think it was around just under $100,000. We cut it out. And that is the budget that was approved. So in column G, this one right here, it says village approved budget. This is the second budget that we did. And now we've had a priorities meeting. We reassessed what we felt was important for the downtown, and we had other members of the business community attend that meeting, and we redid our priorities, and now we're redoing the budget to reflect what those priorities are. The revenue did not change. General activities, this one here, this contractual services, this is the public restrooms at the fire hall, which originally I ended up taking it down. We started at $1,500, same as what we were spending this year. We went up to 2,000, and then I took it back down to 1,500. I'm just guessing. I don't know if that's going to be correct or not. And then same thing with the legal services. I think we traditionally put $5,000 in there. I'm not expecting to spend $5,000 this year, so it seemed like bringing it down to $4,000 would be okay. And that's this number here, this one. All right, so this number, municipal street lighting, normally this is our utilities. And then if somebody smashes a lamppost and we don't have a record of, we don't know who did it, the DDA has to buy the lamppost and the insurance doesn't pay for it. So, and neither does the mystery person, because we don't know who they are to give them the bill. So originally it was in our budget, but frankly, I mean, we can't predict that that's going to happen, and we need to, it doesn't, I mean, we are going to have to pay for lampposts, regardless of whether or not we stick them in our budget and how many lampposts we want to put in our budget. So it's something that you have to pay for. It's an emergency thing when it happens, and I took it out of the budget. And this is why we're having this meeting, so that somebody can, if I'm doing something that is unwise or that you don't agree with, then we should talk about it. All right, and this is the other spot where I found money. This is transfer to capital improvement fund. We borrowed from our fund 404, the property acquisition fund. We borrowed money for the township parking lot, the parking lot that is in front of the Arts Center. And over the plan was over the next 2 years, we would pay that fund back, pay back into that fund. What I'm suggesting now is that we take 3 years, we pay less next year and then 10,000 for the following 2 years to pay back that fund instead of all at once. And that's really where I found most of the money. All right, this one, capital outlay beautification at $38,000. That is our speakers, and the other, what else did we have in there? Yeah, this one, the blue, number 2, $30,000 for the speakers, and then for barricade fencing and for picnic tables. And all right, so then moving down into promotions, and this is just operations only. I added back in the gazebo series. We usually, I guess we normally pay, we're normally spending $7,700, but some of that is in 2019-20, some of that money is marketing money. So I took that out for this year, and all of the marketing money is under brand marketing, under that $50,000. And what is left here, theoretically, is just the operation of the event itself. So $5,500 for the gazebo, an additional $7,550 for the open mic night and the block parties, should we decide to do them. And then we got sponsorship from Genesis for the Halloween parade and for Sing and Stroll, which is part of our hometown holidays. So I added the revenue on the sponsorship, and then I added the $500 here for these events to reflect that sponsorship. And last but not least is the DDA outlay parking and the dumpsters. So this part here, this is reflecting how originally all of our priorities were kind of aimed at parking and pedestrian safety, and and now it's not. So for all of the pedestrian lighting and it like finishing off the walkway by the fire hall, all of that stuff, I'm hoping we can do that for $25,000. Adding a dumpster along Front Street, that southwest quadrant was discussed at that meeting, so it didn't end up being a priority, but it's a project that was specifically mentioned. So I added that money back in to make sure that we could build a dumpster enclosure in that 120 South Broadway and Anita's Kitchen kind of area. And that is all of my changes. Because I slowed down how we were paying back the acquisition fund, I was able to fit everything in there without having to say we can't do something. But please tell me what you think of all of that. Chris, do you have an opinion?
I mean, I missed the first part, obviously, of this, but I think that what you talked about since I've been on makes sense. I don't totally understand the costs and how we're paying for the sidewalk. Joe mentioned it's gonna be more expensive than what he thought. The connection from the parking by the fire station. So is that in there? Did I miss that, or we don't have that yet, or?
Well, I have it in as the 25,000,
Okay.
part of the 25,000.
Okay,
And I don't know if I put enough in there. Actually, I mean, I may not have. Let's see. I was expecting to spend around $8,000 on pedestrian safety and lighting. So the what is it, $12,000 was meant for that walkway area. And I don't know. I can talk to Joe, and maybe that's not enough money. Maybe it needs to be more.
okay. Okay. I think, I mean, I want to look at the whole thing, but I don't have any major objections or anything. I mean,
Okay.
Molly, I'm sorry, I missed the front end of the meeting too. I was on another call. So, for me, it's just really what you guys decide and then how I can help if I can. So what's the bullet on the decisions that were made?
Put it back up here.
Thanks again, and sorry.
It's okay. All right. Let me tell you what I came up with about the events. What I'm hearing from the downtown is they don't want just one night. You know, they think that the more we can do, the more helpful it will be. So I tried to fit everything in rather than trying to choose just one thing. And, you know, that doesn't mean that everything that I'm thinking of makes sense. I'm just trying to listen to the downtown and make sure that we're doing what they think they need. So we've got the gazebo concert series, we're keeping it on Wednesday, doing the 8 concerts in July and August. Hopefully 20 Front Street will be interested in being a part of those concerts as they have in the past. I'm hoping that we can broadcast that music up into the downtown area. Friday night block party.
Don't they already have it booked?
Yeah, it's booked. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay. Friday night block party. I figured that we could afford 4 of them. And if we did a first Friday or a last Friday or something like that, we could do, well, July would be not a first Friday, but July, August, September, October, which is happens to coincide with the extended outdoor alcohol use or alcohol service from the restaurants. They can have things outside through the end of October with the licensing, temporary licensing that's out right now. And then Thursday nights, originally the businesses were going to be staying open, you know, doing a construction blues night, although they didn't end up liking the word construction blues, but they were going to stay open late on Thursday nights. So if we rented sound equipment, you know, and had people sign up to play, that's what that one is. That's all it is. And I don't know if that would be, you know, in the alleyway or down in the gazebo and having it piped on the speakers. I don't know what would work, but we can do that from July through October. And then you know about you were part of the meeting for the outdoor speakers and the barricade fencing and the picnic tables, right?
Yep.
All right. This is, there are some reservations about the block party, and they are related to shutting down the streets. And the concern is because of M24 being a construction zone right now. Do we really want to shut down the streets when people are diverting and going through downtown? We really like all that traffic that we're getting right now, because it brings more exposure to the businesses. And if the village council passes the outdoor use resolutions that they're looking at, anybody who needs the extra space can sign an agreement with the village, and they'll be able to use our barricade fencing. And right now they're allowed 100 people per gathering, right? If we allow them to each be their own space, then we get to have 100 people at each restaurant. And whereas if we do a footprint, we're allowed 100 people within our footprint. So that's another argument for not doing a closed down street right away. Did I catch you up with everything, James?
Yep.
I'm not exactly sure when you walked in.
That's fine.
Okay. And I know that's not, ideal, but we're dealing with the circumstances that we've got right now. And the fact is we've got M24 construction, and we've got increased event activity because the businesses are concerned. So
the barricades are up 7 days a week?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what is being proposed, that we're hoping the village council will sign.
And that's just in front of the restaurant spaces? Or is that taking up all the parking?
There will be 3 different resolutions, one for hair salons, one for restaurants, and one for retail or in offices, or I don't know. They're trying to make sure they cover everybody and that everyone's allowed the same opportunity. Obviously, they've got more space, so
once it's approved, the people that want to take advantage of it will let you know, and then you'll plan for barricading in front of their space, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. The fire department, in the end, they were willing to accept the barricading that that Anthony designed. They weren't willing to endorse it.
I saw that.
Doing this. Which is fine. I mean, safety is their big concern, and they want to stand behind the things that they feel are safe, which is why the footprint is the one that they really like that. And under other circumstances than we have right now, they'd be a good consideration. That'd be something we'd want to look at more seriously than I'm recommending right now, just because of what's going on with M24. And all of the detours that are happening. Any other questions? No? Okay.
And there, just a comment too, there was some issues with the speaker system we're looking at, whether or not it'll make it across M24. We're going to have a better chance of that, and this might work even better in a month from now, once we know, by putting the antenna system on the building, on the 4-story building. So I think we've got that figured out, that if we go on the 4-story building, there's a really good chance we can hit the part, but right now we're not sure. They're concerned with that road traffic, CB communications, things that are 900 megahertz going down that road. So that's another issue that may hurt this idea, but may help, may work. So we don't know yet.
Okay. Any other questions? Hi, Kim.
I gotta run. I gotta jump on another call. I'm sorry I couldn't stay for the whole thing or anything, but we'll talk more. And I'm glad to hear that we'll be talking about this as a DDA board. So see you guys.
Okay. Hey, Chris. Yeah. Chris, if this committee recommends what's here, are you okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thanks. Yep, see you. Bye.
Bye-bye. All right, Kim, you had a question.
Okay, so since it's changing and we're allowed to have more events now, so marketing plan that allowed for, having events, should they
Mhm.
open up, we have like a 4-week plan for the gazebo. So now that's gonna be 8 weeks. We did have a plan for a welcome back celebration in the late summer, which is not, what's happening? Oh, you
I'm
want me
trying
to,
to make you presenter.
oh, like, okay,
Because you're obviously reading something. Can we see it?
okay, can you guys see this? Can y'all see this? Wait, I have the wrong screen up. That's the mobile one. All right, let me change this again. Sorry, I gotta share my other screen.
Okay.
Let's see. Can you hit, okay, here we go, screen 2. There we go. I got 2 screens, sorry. Star Trek in here. Okay, so, this plan where we have the Elo Lucky and then it skips down past Flower Fair since that was just virtual. We have the Gazebo Concert Series and that covers like a 4-week run. And then the Welcome Back celebration for late summer. And then, you know, supporting the Dragon on the Lake with an ad in the paper, Halloween parade, very minimal virtual advertising there, and then the hometown holidays, which is scaled back from last year. So what I'm thinking is your best bet would be to have a summer celebration ad of some sort that covers all of them. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
I think you're gonna be able to spread it further. Do you guys agree with that? Just kind of having it be tagged with 3 different things, like the concerts on the Wednesday, the gazebo concerts, the, you know, the live and the block party. What do you think?
I've mixed feelings on this only because I don't know how much advertising I think we should do now because of the message it might send to people that you know, yeah, we can have 100 people down there. What if 200 show up? What if people say, I can't believe that they're doing that, you know, they're going to pack people in a park for a concert series. I don't know. I have mixed feelings on it. I don't know what the right answer is, you know.
Yeah.
I don't want to send the wrong message.
Is there a way to regulate the number of people coming into these events that we
Yeah,
can
we
mention that,
can-
you know, the traffic will be regulated or foot traffic?
We can do that, and we can put, you know.
I would just caveat it with per state regulations.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with James.
Okay.
What's that, Lisa?
I said, I agree with James. If you caveat it like that, you
Yeah.
can do things like they do in other parks where you can spray paint circles 6 feet apart that can kind of create areas and stuff. There's a lot of different things that you can set up and do.
And not only that, it's 100 today. It could be 200 next week. It could be
Right.
500 in 3 weeks. We don't know.
So,
Right.
so what you're saying, James, I agree with. Should this be a scaled up marketing where it starts maybe a little slower and then it kind of steps up as, you know, as those things grow and we're allowed to have more?
First
that
one
we
in
could put
wins.
more- Yeah, but you first one in, if you can only have 100 people, doesn't do you any good. If
Per
all-
state,
that's why
per state regulations. Well, if you're talking about the gazebo.
Speakers are, though. That's why we're doing speakers, so that people can be in the downtown area shopping and
That's true.
dining. Yeah,
That's
while
true.
they're listening
That's a
to
good
music. Yeah, I mean, and the reason we're doing these events is to get people into the restaurants and the shops.
Right.
So,
No, that makes sense. I
So,
agree
Anthony,
with that.
in terms of the gazebo series, the FM modulator would easily reach that distance from the gazebo to the downtown and hit the speakers, but there's still concern of interference, you're saying?
The FM modulation system,
I don't understand.
I mean, there might be some interruption, but there might be some interruption. I think that the one that we want to, in addition to the FM modulation, the other one we want to test out is the wireless speaker system.
Right.
And that one's the 900 megahertz.
Yeah. So James, the other one is a point-to-point system,
So the
So
speakers
it's,
themselves would get the interference then is what you're concerned with, right?
Yeah, basically the
Yeah.
idea of this system is, you have your antenna up top and it's broadcasting
Yeah.
down to as many as it can hit. And then from those speakers, they broadcast to the next one with basically a delayed system. So like it's delayed to the first speaker and not to the last speaker. So it's equaled out all the way across the board. So they're
Yeah.
playing at the same time.
Yeah.
So the issue with the interference is more, it'll probably go across the road just fine. But, things like CBs and anything that's at 900 megahertz could potentially affect
Because
it.
it's 900 megahertz. It's not a class 15. It's not on an FM. It's just,
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yes.
you got it.
We talked about, should we look at an FM modulation system, but obviously we can only get to maybe 150 to 200 foot reach with that, and then you'd have to try to get a license to go bigger. And so this system we can grow it farther, and if we put it on the tall building, we can probably get it out to most of the city, and maybe it'll work in the park too. There's a good chance of that. So
what are the speakers going to play 24 hours, 7 days a week?
Some music program, something that,
so that
preferably, because we don't want to have to pay royalties or whatever.
would be a
we
good
pay.
question for James.
Well, the
actually.
music you have
No.
to subscribe to.
Right. So
Right.
being that you've been in the radio business, what is there out there that is that you plug in? Obviously when you have a restaurant or something, you pay for a service. Is that the same for something like a downtown? Would that be the same, or would it be something specific? You would know the answer probably better than anybody.
Say that again.
So, when you have a restaurant, if you have like a Spotify in your restaurant or you have a music service, you're paying for that service to be running in your restaurant.
Right.
Would that be different for outdoor speakers, or would that be the same thing?
Well, you'd have to, whose license are you're not using a restaurant's license. I guess you could try and piggyback it off of the restaurant's existing license but I mean, no, Somali's shaking her head. So you'd have to license something yourself. So likely you'd have to sign up for your own Pandora, and the thing or Spotify or whichever one you use. The thing I don't know is that they have a separate restaurant fee, but I could see they probably do, just like cable TV, right? So
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering, how do they work that
Yeah.
for downtown?
a restaurant guy could give you a better answer, but
Okay.
certainly you're going to have to subscribe to something to have consistent, otherwise your option would be to put something free that's not licensed like a radio station, but then you're going to play commercials.
Right. Which is not a good idea.
I think it's a great idea, but of course, right?
No comment.
That increases my reach and frequency.
Right.
So yeah, but you'll have to subscribe to something, or someone would have to have a licensed set of. You'd have to have something. You're gonna have to pay for something.
Right, exactly. Some sort of monthly.
And then because the idea, I think that we could easily connect to, I think we could connect to the board at the gazebo for the gazebo concert series and shoot that signal with the FM modulator up to the top of 20 Front Street, where there's a receiver there that is inputted to your device that sends your laptop. So you can do that also. So you could pipe in the music series, really anything you have happening, into the speakers during that time that's active also. Does that make sense?
I don't think you have to do that with this. I think there is some sort of a 900 megahertz transmitter that you use in the
Mobile
gazebo
unit.
a mobile unit that transmits to this antenna. So you don't even have to use that FM modulator. You just use this mobile unit that transmits to the antenna. So
Yep. So it comes with something that allows it. Yeah. So you just plug that right into the board down in the gazebo and it shoots it right down to the speakers.
you got it.
Yeah. Awesome.
Okay. Kim, you were talking about the marketing plan.
Sorry, Kim.
Okay, that's okay. It's all kind of, it's like throwing a party and you talk about, we're gonna play this on the record player and who's bringing Coca-Cola, who's bringing the keg, who's bringing the Doritos. Okay, so my thing right now is how's this invitation gonna be? Is it gonna be hey, Wednesday is the new Friday. Check out what's happening downtown. Wednesdays we have this, Thursdays we have this, and every, first Friday we have that. Something that's a ganged thing, because this is all you've got is it's just under 6,000 for the summer. And that's including that welcome back celebration, which to me should be one of those first Fridays,
Yes, absolutely.
Could we lump them all into LO Live and just say LO Live is both Wednesday and Friday night and Thursday if it happens?
Funny you should say that. Molly, you want me to show the thing I was working on?
Sure, yeah.
It makes the most sense to stick with one message.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
Go ahead.
oh, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So we were talking about the Friday night idea last week. So I just got to thinking, why not take this construction blues idea and switch it into Lake Orion Live?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could
And then
say,
we just do Wednesday and Friday.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like
Right?
that. Yeah.
yeah, and it's LO, with the little thingy that goes where the strings go. But I think if we switch this to Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, that makes sense, and you can use it all the time. Like it doesn't have to be. What I'm
nice.
concerned about is the gazebo concerts has a look, but you're going to spend all your money on just that poster for the gazebo with the microphone and the gazebo, and now your money's shot. You need to have it be everything, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Push them into one. If you can do it, push them into one. Way better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that. That's great. Yeah, that's really good.
Okay. So we'll change that Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and that'll be my present to you. Let's see here. Yeah.
We're getting presents.
So-
How exciting!
But yeah, I just am curious if you thought. So I think it sounds like that's a good idea. Other than that, that's all I wanted to bring up about the marketing plan, because that's and then of course the mobile app will be not happening because the events are going to take precedence, right? So I would suggest that next year, should you move forward with the mobile app, if there's a way to fit it into your plan, I think it'd be great, because then you could announce like the heck out of all these things and it'd be right in people's hands and they'd get geo notified, like you really need one, but not this year. Right now, we're talking about keeping people apart.
Yes, Jane.
So can you just give me the bullet on the Thursday night idea again?
Just an open mic. The idea was that the stores were going to have specials and stay open late and do demonstrations or something Thursday nights. That was the original plan a long time ago before COVID-19. To give people a reason to come into town, even though M24 is all messed up.
And then where does it happen?
It was not going to be an event necessarily by the DDA. It was marketing for what the businesses and restaurants were doing.
But who's doing the open mic?
Oh, yeah. I don't know.
I think you are.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Music's in the video.
Lisa knows how hard open mics are. Lisa, tell them.
They're a challenge, but I think it's.
Never know what you're gonna get.
I mean, we have probably 25 to 30 people. We do it once a month only at 20 Front Street. And we get pretty much a full group that play for about 2.5 hours.
Wow.
Does it?
And those are usually on a Tuesday or a Wednesday at 20 Front Street. We've been doing them once a month. And then we do comedy night once a month.
Does it? If we're having that, does it make sense to still tell the businesses, hey, you should stay open late because social distancing is a lot easier if you have more hours. And so you can spread out your content of maybe this is something we can use to influence them to stay open late and say, hey, you know what? This is your opportunity to stay open late, because now you can spread out your contact of your customers coming in and out and make a case to them.
Well, and another piece is too, looking at how many places in town right now have been doing entertainment in the restaurants. I know usually the CJ's in the bar area does it. I don't know if they do Thursday nights or Friday nights. I know they do karaoke night at the Mexican restaurant sometimes. Does 313 do music?
It's Friday night. Sagebrush is Friday night karaoke.
Okay.
Wine social too.
What
Yeah,
time
wine
do they
social.
start? They start at 8 or?
I guess my point is though, no matter what they're doing, what is it that we're gonna be doing if we're gonna promote? Or what, what is it we're promoting if we're saying come down Wednesday, Thursday and Friday night? By the way, there's nothing on Thursday night, right? Doesn't really work.
Well, in the budget that I took notes on, you had $2,250 under open mic night. So was that to go towards potentially paying people to be there, or just
No,
like someone who's going to act as the moderator for it?
that was, well, I was putting $150 a night, each
Uh-huh.
night. That was for renting the sound equipment.
Okay.
But I mean, if there is sound equipment that can be used, then I mean, I don't know, 150 a night, that's what I was planning. And
Okay.
I, don't care how it gets spent, I guess. I mean, if $150 means it gets managed by somebody, and we still have all the stuff that we need, then that's even better.
Okay.
Lisa, you guys have shows on Thursday night, so it probably doesn't make sense for you to try and tackle it, right?
We have shows. We've been rescheduling, so July is definitely going to look a lot different. June is pretty open, but what I'd really like to do, if it's okay with you guys, I've been trying, when I kind of gone away, I've been trying to make calls to Tim and Alan and Kevin, and I haven't been able to get anybody yet. But would it be possible for me to put kind of what the thoughts in the budget were down on paper to them and just email it and then see if they're interested in any or all of the components? Is that okay?
Absolutely. Yeah, of course
Yeah.
it is. Yeah,
Okay.
and this is being broadcast on TV, which sucks a little bit because it was a very casual meeting at the beginning, but but
Sorry,
But
people.
there is stuff to see. They can come and watch the meeting. I mean, including my frank discussion about wanting 20 fronts help. So,
Yep.
And to be on the same team and to be working together.
Right.
Yeah, I'd like to see that happen. So,
So Lisa will check and see what that all looks like. In the meantime, maybe a plan B of approaching a restaurant and seeing if they'll take ownership of it, or is that too narrow and down to one restaurant? Not fair.
you're thinking for the
if
open
we
mic?
offer it- Go
Yeah,
ahead.
I think the open mic might be a cool way to, even if that could rotate to restaurants where you were actually having that happen on a Thursday night in different restaurants. Maybe you get 4 restaurants that commit to that.
yep.
And somebody gets the first Thursday, somebody gets second Thursday, third Thursday, fourth Thursday. And at
Yep.
least it's getting 4 or more restaurants that might like to have something like that. It's
Yes,
just coordinating how you're going to get that group of people to show up and do open mic. That might be actually the more extensive promotion where you're trying to really go after good targeted quality open mic people.
Right.
You mean instead of me and James singing?
Ooh, I don't sing.
Well, with karaoke, maybe it'll work, you guys.
No,
I'm just
not with
thinking-
me.
Oh, I'd pay to see that.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I mean,
Don't
the
let the
goal
air
of
fool you.
open mic is to allow people to play and be seen from the player's point of view. And are the restaurants really going to be able to do that, given that they might still be under some limitations of spacing? Outside
That's
on
true.
the street,
Yeah.
that might be something they'd really like to have.
Mhm.
Yeah, in the space, in the cordoned off space.
Right.
So maybe that's where it happens inside those spaces that we're creating with the barricades.
Or maybe it happens in front of some of the other businesses. Maybe a business
That's a good idea.
becomes maybe a non-financial partner and the restaurant's already pushing out into the street, but maybe let's say, I don't know, the coffee shop wants to sponsor it for a night and maybe Green Hippo wants to sponsor it. And now the yarn shop might sponsor it. So now it's moving around and taking people and it gives people maybe more of a commitment or reason to be open.
Mhm.
I
And
mean,
you're not using up restaurant eating space. You're creating a new, maybe, barricaded off, not barricaded, but, having some kind of a demarcation zone where the seats might be, if they're going to be seated, or is it just to stand and be there, or I don't know. Maybe it's the way Wine Social could have a roving bar that goes along with the entertainment. I don't know.
I have an idea. I think maybe we could get Kent Collar to do this. Kent Collar used to run the open mic night somewhere. I can't even remember. He's run a bunch of open mic nights. He knows everybody. He might do it expensively on a Thursday night, because you're going to need someone to take it and build it.
Right.
Right.
You're right.
Yeah. Someone's got to connect the dots.
oh, here's Joe Young. And Joe, you're considered Joe instead of Village of Lake Orion.
So when's our next brand meeting?
And Johnny wanted to know if promotions and marketing would be willing to have an emergency meeting Thursday or Friday.
This week?
Just to kind of iron out some of these details as far as the
That's
promotion.
got to be great because it would give me an opportunity to bring you back feedback from Ken Collar, and Lisa could bring back 20 Front Street feedback on a couple different things. So
Yeah.
Would that be all right with you, Lisa?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I can. Thursday looks fine to me. Are you talking Thursday and Friday this week?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah,
this week,
either of
yeah,
those
the
are good
goal
for
is
me.
to-
Right. I can make that work for me too.
Let's see. All right, so June 4th is Thursday.
I just have a gardener all day putting stuff on my yard, but
All right, I
All
can
my
do, what about 1:00 on Thursday? How does that work for everybody?
Can we do
I
3?
can do that.
It looks like I've got a Michigan Downtown's board meeting at 3, although I have not seen any emails regarding that meeting, so we could.
1's tough for me because it's middle of the day. and
Okay,
We're back
Is
on
it
production.
possible to look at Friday? That would just give me a little bit more time to try and get a response back. I don't know whether I'm gonna get a response by 1:00 tomorrow.
I like Friday better too. I
all right,
I wouldn't care time wise on Friday.
okay, all right, how about, well, for some reason I've got design committee at 1:30, but we're gonna not do that meeting, because we already had one. We don't need to have another design committee meeting, I don't think. You guys want 3:00 or 2:00 or what on Friday? On June
Either's
5th?
fine for me.
2:00, good.
2:00
2 or 3,
sounds
either one.
good.
Okay. All right, I am putting it in my calendar and we'll send out a notice.
That'll be another go-to-meeting one?
Yes, it'll be a
Okay.
go-to meeting. Yeah.
Perfect.
And
All
we're
right.
just going to do go-to meetings until people stop wanting to have them.
Okay.
Because I'm perfectly fine with those.
I'm tired of them. It's a pain in the butt. I just like to go in a boardroom and sit down and everyone can talk to each other and it's like,
Look at each other.
Yeah.
Right.
no,
No,
it feels like James is 10 miles away, but he's right next door.
I can see out the window. That's so funny. Okay, well, yeah, so Friday,
So-
and you'll send invite.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'll send an invite for everybody for 2:00 on Friday. And
Okay,
thank you
and
very
then
much.
Molly, I can help you build out Thursday, at least to where we can find someone that can take it and run with the ball.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
I like that. That's good.
Okay,
That'll
I'm
help.
gonna ask that you share, because I know Lisa will love this anyway. I'm gonna ask that as we leave, you share my screen real quick so I can show you the concert series for Wildwood Amphitheater.
Ah, nice.
Look at this. This is gonna be fun.
Okay,
How do I-
you are shared.
Can you see it?
Nope.
Yeah.
There.
There we
There
go.
it is.
Ah, there we go.
Ooh,
Wow.
Look at that.
wow.
Boogie Dynamite.
Yeah. Elton
Hey,
John.
James, can you send that out to people?
Yeah, I'm gonna post it on the chat rooms, and once I get approval from Jennifer tonight or tomorrow morning. So
Okay.
I'm gonna post it to the chat rooms, and then she's gonna do whatever she's gonna do with it.
Okay, sounds
She's
good.
already made events on the first 3 shows, and I think you'll see the other 3 this week.
So
So there's gonna be 6 of them?
Yeah, 6.
Okay, cool.
what are you guys gonna do with Dragon on the Lake? Has anything changed with
There's
that
a
now?
$1 million question. I mean, I don't know. I still don't know what kind of crowd we can do, right? I mean, I can't do a beer tent with 100 people. I won't
Right.
make
No.
money. So, and I don't know still. I
I
don't know.
hope. Fingers crossed.
Mm-hmm.
We got 3 different plans, none of them which are very good at this point.
I know.
Yeah, I
It's
Except for the
know.
original one.
It's such a great event. It would be terrible to lose it this year.
No, you're not gonna lose it. We're gonna do something. We'll do something virtual if we have to. We'll do something.
Yeah,
Good.
We'll do something which speaks to the arts as much as it can.
yeah.
It is an
Right.
art center after all.
Right.
Hey,
Okay.
James, are those concerts on Tuesdays still?
Yeah, they're on Tuesdays.
Okay,
Yeah,
So
7
these right
o'clock?
here, this poster is for Tuesdays?
yeah, 7, 8:30. The last one will be 2 hours because I told him, hey, since it was Matt Gibb this thing, he's gonna open up with the first 30 minutes. Just no one knows yet, but
oh,
he's
okay.
gonna be on that white baby grand piano for a half hour first.
Oh,
geez.
cool.
Yeah, and then we're gonna do fireworks at the end of the last one.
Well, that
Nice.
sounds great.
Awesome.
Neat.
Okay, so I just want to make sure,
Thank you,
can
Molly.
you unpresent, please, James?
Yeah.
Yeah,
can
stop
see
presenting,
everybody.
James. God.
How do I do that? How do I do that?
Down on the bottom in the middle where it says screen, just press that button. It's a colored.
No, I know it's gone. Everything's different. The whole layout's
Highlight it.
different.
Highlight it. Move your mouse down there. It should highlight.
It's not. That's what I'm telling you. It changed the whole layout when you shared my screen. Oh, there it is.
There you go.
You got it? Okay. All right. Well, okay. It says, okay, mine says hi to everyone. I don't know why it does that. Okay, here we go. Hello. Let's do again. All right, so the budget that we just looked at, is that something that are you okay with how I moved the numbers around so that we could get everything done?
I think
Okay.
it looks good. Yeah.
Do you
Is
need a
anybody,
vote to approve this budget to be presented to the DDA board? So I
Yeah.
vote to approve this budget to be presented to the DDA board.
I'll
Support.
second it.
okay. All right, so I
Good job,
think
Molly.
James made it first and Lisa did a second and so did Anthony and so did Kim.
Great job. Great job.
All right, then I will. Joe Young, 100 people per location and to the village council. Well, Joe, I mean, we can modify the motion to say that, but it's a recommendation that it be presented to the board and then the board has to do the recommendation that it goes to village council. Isn't that correct? Joe is typing. So.
Yeah, I see it. Hey, guys, I gotta run. I got
right.
6 people here to help me put a doc in.
Awesome.
Sorry, bye.
Okay, bye.
Yeah.
Thank you. And then Joe, you have it was just to save time. Okay, well, but committees cannot make a can't go past the board. They report to the board only. So I don't want to confuse things by doing that. And then Joe, what we were talking about, you said 100 people per location question mark. So, the governor has said you can have gatherings of 100 people. If we leave our streets open and the village council passes the resolution to allow for more use of outdoor space by businesses, then, the restaurants can have 100 people. I mean, I don't know if they have enough space, but they can do as many people as they can do in their location.
Based
Where if
on
we
their
have a
capacity.
footprint, we're gonna be, we're gonna have to kind of stick to our 100 people inside our footprint. So
Right.
that's what I was thinking about. And then, the M24 construction issue as well. Social distancing 6 feet, yes.
Right. Restaurants are allowed to be 50% capacity. So if you look at, like, just use Oat Soda as an example, I think their capacity is like 90. So they'll be at 45, obviously with 6 foot distancing, but that with outdoor and indoor, they can probably hit 45 people. So you're 100% correct. If you think about that, just in 2 or 3 restaurants, you'd have over 100. Whereas the other way would be 100 max.
I think it's 45, it's 50% inside the building. And then as long as they're doing 6 foot distancing, they can add to it on the outside. I mean, and that's the reason that we're looking at the resolution to allow more use of outdoor space, right?
Correct. I think that's not totally correct, though. Yeah, I know what you're saying, Joe, but like if you have a deck on your building, that counts as interior space from what I read.
It does. Yeah.
The only thing so outside would be completely separate from. I just want that to be clear that people understand, that anybody is watching, that's interior space, not what we give them. So if we give them sidewalk space, that would increase that capacity.
Which is the point. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to allow them to have more capacity than what they've been licensed for under the governor's rulings. So, okay. Joe, do you have any other questions or anything else you want us to discuss? No. Okay.
Hey, Joe, can you call me when we're done? There was a couple things I wanted to go over with you real quick. Very straightforward.
Okay.
Thanks, Joe.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for your time. We will see you all again. We'll talk again on Friday.
Awesome. All right, have a good one.